Yeah. Way up.
All right, it's Way Up with Angela Yee. What's good? Everybody is texting me right now while I'm trying to start the show. It's ridiculous. But yes, that's what happens when you are trying to juggle multiple things. But happy Thursday. This is an exciting day for me because we have a legend joining us today. Debbi Morgan is going to be here. This is my first time meeting her. Love her dimples, by the way. Every time I see her, I'm like, I need those dimples. But she is also starring in Beauty in Black. And you know her from, the soaps that we all used to watch as a kid. I mean, all of that. So I'm excited that she's going to be joining us. Look, here comes my guest host, B-Dot. What's up, B-Dot? You got your glasses on?
What up? I walked from Queens. Sorry for the tardiness.
That's good. You walked over the bridge?
Yeah.
Okay, we love to hear it. Walking to work is an amazing thing. I wish I could do that.
You think I'm serious? Of course not.
I know you're not. You think I'm serious?
Well, I'm serious. I haven't seen you since the landslide victory.
Landslide victory? Oh, that's why I forgot you were a Trump supporter.
I didn't forget about our dinner.
All right. What dinner?
Of course.
Okay, well, anyway, let's get this show started with some love and some positivity. 800-292-5150. Let's call up and shine a light. Yes, it is possible to sit next to somebody who doesn't have the same views that you do. I hope you've been watching all of the appointments, too.
I have.
And seeing all the things that are about to happen.
Let's do it.
You should be concerned. It's Way Up.
I'ma shine.
Turn your lights on, y'all.
Turn your lights on.
Spreading love to those who are doing greatness.
Shine a light on them. Shine a light on them.
It's time to shine a light on them.
All right, it's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm here, and of course, my guy B-Dot is here with me today.
What's poppin'?
Guest hosting.
Yes, ma'am.
And so I went to shine a light today on Lennox colonic and detox. Colonic. Yes, I got my first colonic yesterday.
Oh, wow.
And then came out of there and saw Kalani all over the news. No, but I definitely got my first colonic yesterday, so shout out to them. It was quite comfortable.
Really?
No, I'm kidding. It was not. It was not comfortable, but it was a good thing that I did. Like, I could feel the difference. It basically is like you sitting on the table feeling like you're pooping for an hour straight. But I feel a lot lighter. I feel cleaner. She was like, wow, there's a lot of brown sludge coming out.
Wow. It's like me after eating Taco Bell.
And it was right after Taco Tuesday.
Hey!
I went to Taco Tuesday, and then yesterday I did my first ever colonic.
Are you not supposed to fast before that?
No, you're not. You don't have to. But shout out to Kia. She was right outside the door. Once we got started, the most awkward part, maybe I'll talk about this in About Last Night, but certain things I just don't normally do, so it was, we'll talk about it. But anyway, who do you guys want to shine a light on? 800-292-5150. Terrell, who do you want to shine a light on?
I want to shine a light on my granddaughter. Her name is Winter Roberts. She's 10 years old from Detroit, Michigan.
Ooh, okay, she found a D. Now tell us why you're shining a light on your granddaughter.
Because I love my baby.
Okay, is she your first grandchild?
Yes, and only.
Oh, so she is super spoiled. Okay.
Oh, yes, she is.
All right, well, thank you for calling.
Thank you too, Ms. Yee.
All right, well, that was Shine a Light. And when we come back, we have your Yeetie. And Miss Pat sat down with Shannon Sharp and shared a lot of things that she went through. It was quite emotional. We'll talk about it. It's Way Up.
They say it's truth in the rumors.
From industry shade to all the gossip,
Talk to me.
Angela's spilling that Yee tea.
Talk to me.
All right, it's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm here. B-Dot's here.
My name's B-Dot. What's poppin'?
Man, listen, I'll tell you what's poppin' in Yeetie. Odell Beckham Jr., man, he took his Ram salary in Bitcoin. And this was back in 2021.
Okay.
And people thought he was stupid. They was talking crazy. You know how that happens online.
Yep.
But now when they see how Bitcoin has hit the highs that it has, it's at 92,000.
Sheesh.
He posted, so who said taking my Ram salary in Bitcoin was dumb again?
That was a good idea.
Yeah, it was. I mean, listen, a lot of times investments are a long-term thing. And there's a lot of ups and downs, but everybody knows at some point, and especially with Bitcoin, that's kind of like the standard.
Yeah.
When it comes to cryptocurrency.
Would you have to take your salary to Bitcoin?
I don't know if I was that risque. I needed my money right now, right here. Because a lot of people also sold.
Right, that's true.
They saw it hit some lows. I actually have some Bitcoin in my Cash App just to monitor. It's not a lot, but I just like to monitor how it's going. So I put some money in Bitcoin just to see like what's happening so I can understand it.
Send some this way.
It's not that much.
Oh, okay.
I can get you lunch. All right. And now let's get into Shannon Sharpe. He did have Miss Pat on.
Okay.
And they talked about a lot of different things, as they always do on Club Shay Shay. Mm-hmm. And one thing that she talked about was Cat Williams. We always hear these amazing stories about Cat Williams and how he does such positive things for people out of the kindness of his heart. Well, she said that he actually, without really knowing her ahead of time, asked her to go on tour and then ended up paying for her dad's funeral.
Wow.
My daddy passed on a Monday. That Wednesday, I got a call to come go on tour with Cat Williams. I get to the city, we all in a room. Cat come in and he introduced himself and we talking. And he overhear me on the phone. And I'm trying to get my brothers and sisters that my daddy just died. He said, "What you doing?" I say, "My daddy died." I said, "I'm just trying to do his funeral. Do you mind?" He went behind the door and came back with a stack of money. He said, "Go bury your daddy and come back." And I tried to pay it back. He said, "You don't owe me nothing."
That's amazing, man. Do you know how crazy it is to have to pay for funerals? Are so expensive.
Yeah.
First of all, you're already dealing with loss, but then having to worry about the financial aspect of it.
It's expensive. Just throw me in a ditch, man. I don't want that burden on you.
Listen, we have it here.
But Cat is a benevolent guy. For a person with 10 kids, he has mad children, and he always gives out money to people. That's really dope.
And you know what? And it comes back to him. That's how I always say, whenever you end up doing that, it comes back to you. All right, another person she talked about who looked out for her was Joe Rogan.
Oh.
Here's what she had to say.
I hear a lot of things about Joe. People say he's racist, and I said, no, that's not the Joe I know. He's nice. If I ever need something, I can pick up the phone and call him. I can ask Joe to tweet out a show or help me with a show before I can ask a black comedian. And that's bad to say. When the pandemic hit, 2 people called me and asked me was I going to make it through the pandemic. And one of them was Joe Rogan. And the other one was Bert Kreischer. I said, no, I'm going to be okay. I'm good. Not one black comedian called me and asked me, are you going to be okay?
Wow. That's a good white man.
You know, and I will say this, he could have been good to her, and I don't know what he's like outside of that.
Yeah.
You know, so that's nice to hear that story. I will say in real life, there's people that could be amazing to other people and not good to you. We all have our own interactions and stories with people.
That's true.
Or you might feel like, I love this person. Somebody else might be like, I can't stand this person. Or maybe I'm like, this person was awful and horrible to me, but he's great to you. So who's to say?
Absolutely.
All right, and Doechii stopped by her school where she went to, her high school in Tampa, Howard W. Blake High School. She said, I couldn't perform in my hometown without going back to where it all started. I remember showing up to audition for the chorus program with no training and no ability to read or compose music. I remember my chorus teacher asking me if I came with sheet music, and then she got accepted into this program, and here is how they greeted her.
Putting in the work now, so when you get to my age, maybe it's smooth sailing. I remember vlogging in these same hallways when I was in the 9th grade and documenting my journey and recording on GarageBand, and all of those things paid off because I was invested in the free resources that were given to me. So I encourage you guys, take advantage of these moments because you won't have them again.
Wow.
Yeah, she got to speak to the kids. I
Speak
love
to
that.
the kids.
It's nice when somebody famous went to your school and then they actually come back.
I saw that clip circulating online with you and SZA went to the same high school.
I was thinking about that because SZA loves Columbia High School. Shout out to Maplewood, New Jersey. They were listing all the people that ended up going there. Public school in New Jersey. Lauryn Hill.
Yeah, Lauryn Hill.
Rotimi went there.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of people went to that school. Jennifer Williams from Basketball Wives.
Damn, it's like Sweet Valley High.
All right, well, that is your Yeetie. When we come back, we have About Last Night. And I'll tell you what I did yesterday for the first time. I popped a cherry, guys.
Hey.
A different one. It's way up.
So, about last night. Here's how it went down.
Ooh, it's way up with Angela Yee. I'm here. My guy B-Dot is here with me.
That's right.
I know, that's right. What'd you do yesterday?
I ain't do much, man. I had some leftover Parmesan salmon that I made, and
Oh, you made it.
I made it.
Okay.
And I pirate streamed Penguin.
Oh,
Yeah.
when does that come out?
It's out now.
Oh, it's out?
Penguin
Oh.
on HBO Max.
Oh, I have that. Okay.
Let me borrow your account.
So I could watch it.
Okay.
No, not if you can already hack it. Well, yesterday I went and got a colonic for the first time.
Poopy
I know.
situation.
Lennox colonic and detox. So Destiny, who braids my hair, here we've mother. She on Instagram. She was like, Angela, I've been going to get these colonics, and it's so good, and you need to try it. I'm gonna set up the appointment for you. That's all you have to say to me. I'll set up the appointment because I'm that type of person. Like once I commit to something, I'll go. And so she set up the appointment. I showed up. I was very nervous.
Of course.
I mean, somebody called in here the other day when I was talking about I was going to do it, and she told me she lost her memory when she
lost her memory.
She was dehydrated though, because they do tell you got to drink a lot of water. But anyway, it is definitely not a comfortable situation for me because I'm not used to. They put a tube in your rectum.
Whoa.
But it's really, really small. It's like a little tiny plastic straw, kind of. There's no other way for me to describe it.
I'm trying to be mature about this.
Okay. And then you have to put it like 3 inches in.
Oh my gosh.
And that was hard for me because I don't normally do that.
Is this lip service? Oh, wait up.
So I had to call her back in the room. I was like, yeah, this isn't going in.
It's not going as planned.
She was like, put your legs here, open. I was like, okay. So anyway, then you end up laying on the table. And so what it is I just did water. So they just like kind of shoot water in you and it loosens up your intestines, everything that's in there. And so then everything just starts coming out. It kind of like water pressure, but it does make you cramp. So at first, and this is embarrassing, at first it's like you fart a lot because all the gas comes, everything's going right down. But then after that, it's like a lot of sludge, that comes out. And it really feels like you're just like going to the bathroom I did it for an hour.
Oh my gosh.
But like she tried to turn the water pressure up. I was like, nope, turn it back down because it makes you cramp. Like it kind of gives you cramps. So you could feel it like as it's loosening everything up in your stomach. And the more the water pressure is, the more cramping you get.
Is this before or after you had tacos?
This was the day after.
Oh my God.
After Taco Tuesday. So yes, some of them tacos definitely came out. But yeah, so that was the experience. You definitely feel lighter afterward. And you also feel like, what was in me? Because some of that stuff has been inside your intestines for who knows how long. And so it just was quite an experience.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
Sign me up.
I will. Gladly. And other thing that happened is, Beauty in Black. All right, we had one of the stars of Beauty in Black on lip service, Julian Horton. He plays the character of Roy, if you've seen it. And he was talking about things that he had to do to make money, because that's another thing I was thinking about. I was like, this is a real, people are like, I'm going to just pump poop out of people for a living. It's a real skill. Decision. But what are some things you've had to do? He had to humble himself to make some money.
You know what I'm doing last year at this time? I was driving Uber. I was f***ed up. Wow. Because we were on strike. And we didn't work for 7 months. So I'm like, damn, I gotta do Uber.
All right, now what is something that you had to do? And then he ended up starring in the #1 series on Netflix.
A lot could change in a year.
Beauty in Black. What are some things that you've had to do, maybe to take some step backwards to get forward? We want to hear your stories. 800-292-5150. Some things you had to humble yourself to do. Maybe you felt like, I don't want to have to do X, Y, and Z, but you got to make money, got to keep the lights on. 800-292-5150. What are your stories about humbling yourself to make some money? It's way up.
Yeah. You are a media maven, right? Ooh, you never know what Angie's going to say.
All right, it's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm here. B-Dot's here.
My name's B-Dot. That's right.
That's right. And we are talking about having to humble yourself to make some money. Sometimes we're up. Sometimes we're down, but are you willing to do whatever you need to do to get to the cash because you got bills to pay? That's what about you, B-Dot?
Yeah, I have no pride in humbling myself. I'm here, aren't I?
Listen, this is the highlight of your life.
It is.
But let's talk about that because Julian Horton was on lip service, and here is what he had to say. He's the star of Beauty in Black. He plays Roy.
You know what I'm doing last year at this time? I was driving Uber. I was f***ed up. Wow. Because we were on strike. And we didn't work for 7 months. So I'm like, damn, I gotta do Uber.
All right, and you can watch that full interview on my YouTube channel. Also, you can listen to it on the iHeartRadio app, lip service. But for myself, I think really it was in college. After that, a lot of what I did had to revolve around, I was writing bios for artists. I was doing events. I was doing a lot of consulting stuff. But when I was in college, I did work at the supermarket on campus.
Oh, word?
Which is why I like to bag my own groceries to this day because I was great at bagging groceries.
They had a supermarket on campus?
Yeah, we had a little store. Okay. So if you needed to get groceries and stuff like that, you could do that. You
don't have the bodega?
Yeah, it's kind of like a bodega. All right. Well, Brianna, have you ever had to humble yourself to make money?
So, yeah, during the pandemic, I was trying to pay for my degree, so I took the OnlyFans route.
Ooh.
Wow.
What was on your OnlyFans?
A little spicy, not too much, just a little spicy.
Did you graduate?
Yes, I graduated within a year. OnlyFans paid for all of that.
See, I like that. OnlyFans with a purpose. How much did you make on OnlyFans?
The first few months, about $6,000-7,000.
Wow. Okay, all right, that's a great girl. All right, well, thank you, Brianna, for calling, and congrats on your degree.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Hey, King, Michigan.
Hey, man, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. No complaints over here.
All right, good. But what did you have to do, Strange, to make some change?
Man, me and my brother back in the early 90s, 91, 92, we had to drop out of school to go sell drugs to make money to get clothes and shoes and stuff. Just to go to school.
Sign of the times.
That's wild. That's scary.
It was tight back then. This is early 90s. So my mother was a single mother. We had a lot of younger brothers and sisters. We didn't want to ask mom. She didn't have the money. Dad didn't have the money. Wasn't nothing to do but sell some drugs at that time. That career ended so quick, though. It only lasted for maybe like a year or so. And I ended up going to jail. My brother ended up going to jail, but we ended up, getting off that track real quick. But it was an option. We stayed in the spot, like crack spots for 30 days straight just to make $1,000.
This sounds like a rap song.
This is awful. What city were you in?
We was in Detroit, Michigan.
See?
There you go.
BMF.
Yeah, that's straight BMF. We might have worked for one of them.
I was going to say, I know you watch BMF.
Yes, ma'am.
Man, well, I am so glad that you turned your lives around because that could have ended awful.
Man, we got raided. We was on TV. They didn't find any drugs. Thank God that the drug house was so messed up and junky. We threw the drugs in the room and they didn't find anything.
Man.
But it was in there with dogs. Man, it was just crazy. We got to make a movie about that. We're going to have to add this to the BMF too.
He may find he was running with the Chambers brothers or something.
Man, I was with a dude named Cowboy. His name was Cowboy.
Imagine being 16 and having all of that, to have to deal with the type of trauma that comes after that. Yeah. That's wild. Well, I'm glad that you're here to tell your story, and I'm sure you learned a lot from it, too.
Yes, we did.
Thank you for sharing with us. People don't understand circumstances.
Yeah.
He was a kid, had to take care of the family, single mom, younger brothers and sisters. People get put in these situations and do what they have to do.
Sell crack to the kids. That's just the way it is.
All right. Well, thank you guys for calling, and you can still leave a message, 800-292-5150 for last word. We're talking about humbling yourself to make some money. And when we come back, we have your Yee tea. Let's talk about Tina Davis, Chris Brown's former manager. She talks about what parents were doing at that time, endangering their kids.
What?
It's way up.
Yo, she about to blow the lid up off this pot. Let's get it. Oh, yeah. Angela's spilling that Yee tea. Come and get the tea.
All right, it's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm here. My guy B-Dot's here.
My name's B-Dot.
Yo.
Let's get into some Yee tea.
Let's do it.
Let's start off with Tina Davis. If you know who Tina Davis is, she used to manage Chris Brown early on in his career. She's really the one that got him to the point where he was known by everybody.
Yep.
She also used to be the head of A&R at Def Jam.
Mm-hmm.
And she also currently works at Empire. She's the president of Empire. She got that position in the summer of 2023 after 5 years.
Shout out to Ghazi and Nima.
Yes, and Empire, by the way, works with artists like Shabuzi, who's one of the biggest stars of 2024. Well, anyway, she is talking about what it was like with Chris Brown before the Rihanna incident, right? And here's what she had to say.
It was hard to try and get him over that hump or get people to change their minds because before it happened, everyone loved him. Parents were dropping their kids off at hotels like, go get Chris Brown. Go get him. And I'm like, if you don't put your daughter back in your car. Fortunately, him, his mom, and all of us, we were not down with that. We were like, no, take your child and leave.
Go get him.
Yeah, she said that because he was a good kid. It was like parents are like, I want you to marry this kid. Like,
I have a play date with Chris Brown?
That's wild that parents would be on it like that. But so she did this interview where she's basically on Nando Leaks. And this all comes after, they had this whole documentary about Chris Brown.
Right.
That came out. I haven't heard much about it since. There was a lot of uproar of Chris Brown fans like, I'm not watching this. And then after that, I guess they really didn't.
Go get him.
All right. Now, let's talk about Meek Mill and Diddy. A lot of people were saying rumors about Meek Mill and Diddy and what type of relationship that they had. Well, Meek Mill is clearly distancing himself from his former friend. Here's what he said.
Real life
No Diddy gang, Meek Mill in real life. Don't ever disrespect me. You heard?
Wow, the Meek shall inherit this slur.
What? Well, and Justin Combs did not like that, by the way. He posted under that SMH, and then he put emoji with, face palm.
Man, them tables are turned.
I know. He probably is annoyed by all the people having things to say, but maybe don't say anything because you really were really tight with somebody.
Yeah.
All right, now Martin Lawrence has some big news. He has announced on the Jennifer Hudson show that he is going to be teaming up with somebody who is also iconic for a movie. Here's what he had to say.
Eddie's working on something. He told me about, I don't know the name of it right now, but a Mad World or something. We might do, but there's something. We're working on something.
That's exciting. Did you watch Bad Boys 4?
I didn't, but
it was good.
It's hard for me to watch.
I enjoyed it.
It's hard for me to watch Martin Lawrence now because I think we still see him the way we see him on the show, on a sitcom, and being that it's still relevant after 30 years, we're expecting to see that version of him. So when we don't,
30 years later,
I know.
You should be celebrating the fact that he's still out here getting his money.
I know he's still doing his thing, but it's just hard to watch.
And Bad Boys 4 he was really good in that.
I only watched the first one.
So this should be good. All right, now let's talk about Lil Baby. He has a new song called 5 a.m. And by the way, putting out 2 new songs, right, as well. And he posted on social media, ain't it crazy how they trying to play me like I ain't the one? It's that time. I would say again, but this run will be totally different. I had the darkest period of my life these last 2 years, but I stayed down and overcame that ish. Now I'm back to effing ish up as usual. Sincerely, Wham. Who hard is me? Let's go. And here is 5 a.m.
All I know is survival and dollars. I come from the hood. Can't let them come up.
I'm gonna have to listen to the car.
Right, he said 2 songs, 2 videos, tomorrow, as in today, and then he said album on the way. So 5 a.m. is out now.
We might have had a little conversation about Lil Baby, man.
What?
He took a dip. He fell off a little bit.
It happens.
Yeah, it happens.
It happens. And he said he had 2 really difficult years. So maybe he was going through a lot. We don't know what people have to deal with.
He had a few difficult songs to listen to as well.
All right. Well, that is your Yeetie. When we come back, Under the Radar, these are the stories that are not necessarily in the headlines. They're flying under the radar, but we want to make sure you know about them. B-Dot, how long do you sit on the toilet?
Until my phone dies.
All right. Well, you shouldn't be on there for more than 10 minutes. We'll tell you why. It's way up.
This in the news that relates to you. These stories are flying under the radar.
It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm here. B-Dot's here.
My name is B-Dot.
Yo.
I got my colonic. I feel bad that I just ate some pretzels.
Oh, man.
But there's a report now that if you sit on the toilet for more than 10 minutes, that could be dangerous.
Why?
How long do you spend on the toilet, B-Dot?
Like I said, until my phone goes red.
What if it's completely charged? Then you stay in there for hours?
You start reading things like magazines in the back of labels.
You can't do that outside of the toilet?
I mean, why not?
Well, according to doctors, you should spend an average of 5 to 10 minutes on the toilet. If you stay longer, gravity keeps us grounded on Earth, but that same gravity also forces the body to work harder to pump blood back up to the heart. So the open oval-shaped toilet seat compresses your buttocks, which keeps your rectum in a lower position than if you were sitting on the couch. Right? So with gravity pulling the lower half of the body down, the increased pressure affects your blood circulation. And they said it becomes a one-way value where blood enters, but blood really can't go back. Then the veins and blood vessels surrounding your anus and lower rectum get enlarged and engorged with blood, and that increases the risk of hemorrhoids. Have you had hemorrhoids?
I never had hemorrhoid, no.
All right.
Might as well wear a diaper at this point.
No, how about just go for 5 to 10 minutes? I mean, that seems like the logical solution.
Or until your legs start getting
But they said they are seeing an increase in people passing more time on the toilet, and that is very unhealthy for those particular organs down there and for the pelvic floor. So just letting you guys know, if you're spending all this time on the toilet, maybe you want to not do that. Okay?
Gotcha.
In and out.
Thanks for the tip.
Okay. All right. Well, that is your Under the Radar. Now, Debbi Morgan is going to be joining us. She is a legend. She'll be here. She's also starring in Beauty in Black.
That's the lady with the dimples.
Yeah, she has the big dimples. You saw her on Power also playing Tasha's mom, the grandmother. So she'll be joining us. And she was also in Divorce in the Black, too.
Right.
So that was her first Tyler Perry movie, and then she ended up doing a series.
I know from the soap operas.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
She was a part of a black couple. Angie was her name.
Ah, there you go.
All right. So she'll be joining us. So exciting. It's Way Up.
Just like to talk like they Angela Yee, like they Angela Yee.
Man, she's spilling it all. This is Yee T. Way Up.
All right, it's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm here. B-Dot's here.
My name is B-Dot.
That's right.
All right, and let's talk about SZA. She is on the cover of British Vogue. It's a nice in-depth article about everything that she had going on as she's getting ready for a festival out there.
Did Kendrick Lamar interview her?
No, he didn't. No, he did not.
Okay.
But she talks about a lot of different things, including, what it was like for her in high school, her severe anxiety that she has. She also had chipped her tooth on the microphone. So she had issues with the interviewer looking her right in her face. But Punch is actually there, and he says that SZA suffers from severe anxiety. He said when you do a festival, it's so much shared space, different crews, different teams. You don't know who's who. On her own tour, she'll come out, mingle, and talk to everybody. She'll usually pull fans back. With a festival, she'll usually get off stage and go straight to the hotel. And then she talks about different things like her BBL. She said, I'm so mad I did that ish. And she said somewhere around the start of 2022, she had been going to the gym, rapidly developing muscle, but her butt was slower to grow. After she had the procedure, she said, I gained all this weight from being immobile while recovering and trying to preserve the fat. It was just so stupid. But who gives a F? You get a BBL, you realize you don't need the ish. It doesn't matter. I'll do a whole bunch more ish just like it if I want to before I'm effing dead, because this body is temporary. It just wasn't super necessary. I have other ish that I need to work on about myself.
I'm pro BBL as long as it looks good, not the botched ones.
BBL, be that.
Do whatever makes you feel better.
I just think if you do it, make sure you go to somebody who knows what they're doing.
Yeah, you don't do it in a Brooklyn basement.
Yeah, and don't travel to some place where they have different regulations.
Yeah. And
then they're doing, too much that's all I have to say about that. All right, now Ray J is apologizing to Pastor Jamal Bryant. If you recall, I guess they did a sit-down interview, and Ray J does not want this interview to see the light of day. Originally, he said this to Pastor Bryant.
I have nothing but love for Pastor Bryant, but if y'all play that interview, somebody getting snatched off the pulpit, me and Pastor Brian need to talk, because the way I was treated was dirty and illegal. I'm telling you right now, we need to work it out, because if we don't, that's going to be a problem.
What did he say?
Listen, I don't know what he said on there, but Jamal Bryant had also responded to this and said, I love my brother unconditionally. I stand on my agreed promise, grace and peace to you all. And I guess he had one of these private agreements to not be in the public eye, but he said, I refuse to be embroiled in a battle that demeans our community and all that I stand for. Well, Ray J has since taken back to social media to say this.
I want to apologize to Jamal Bryant. It's not okay. People go through stuff, and I was very angry because I'm scared that some of the stuff I said could affect me legally and stuff like that. So I just lost it, and I shouldn't have said words like that. If you would have me at your church, I would love to come through and pray with you in person, pray with you with the whole church. I apologize to the whole Newburgh.
Wow.
How forgiving are you in a situation?
It's very Christian of him. He must have said something that might have lose his religion, man. Like, what did you say, Ray?
Well, he said legally, so I'm sure, he's going through certain things and battles that I guess he just doesn't want to publicly get out there because it could hurt him.
Depart from me, you work of iniquity.
All right. Speaking of lawsuits and things like that, the lawyer who is representing alleged victims for Diddy, against Diddy, is now, I guess, saying that if you were there at these freak-offs,
okay,
and you witnessed things, you are just as guilty. He is on this documentary that TMZ has done, Diddy Inside the Freak-Offs, and we all know Tony Busby's representing over 120 of these alleged victims, and here's what he had to say.
In my view, if you were there and you knew somebody was being drugged and you didn't do anything, and you allowed it to happen, you are just as liable as the individual who shipped the person in, who paid the persons that were there, who bought the drugs, who put the drugs in a little shot and participated in this egregious conduct. You're just as guilty.
I don't know about that.
Now, I'm going to say why I disagree with that. Because we talk about people feeling like their lives were in danger if they said anything, even the victims, right? So if you're there and this happens and you feel like if I say something, just like everybody else,
right,
I could end up getting repercussions. I could end up getting attacked.
I don't think that makes you culpable.
Yeah, with my livelihood.
Yeah.
if you're not participating, maybe you saw and you're like, I got to just act like I never saw this because I'm not trying to ruin my life or people around me.
True.
And so if we're saying that, then you can't turn around and say those people they might also be victims in that case.
Man.
You know? And that's probably why some people are also like, look, I was there when it happened. Some people might want to come forward as victims because they also don't want to be considered to be ones who are plaintiffs in this situation.
Nobody wants to look like an accomplice.
I mean, they don't want to be having to defend themselves, a defendant. All right, well, he said he's already sent demand letters to some of these people, celebrities, politicians, and business people who are in the crosshairs, essentially saying, pay up or you will face a very public, reputationally damaging lawsuit.
Man.
Because what if you were there, something happened in front of you, and you're like, I'm not trying to get killed myself or get my car blown up. All right, well, that is your Yee Tea. When we come back, we have Ask Yee. 800-292-5150 is a number. Call us up. Any question you have. Me and Bida are here to help. And let's listen to some of our girls. SZA, who is definitely one of the biggest stars. This whole article talks about how she even got discovered and signed. It's way up.
Whether it's relationship or career advice, Angela's dropping facts.
All you should know.
This is Ask Yee.
What's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee, and it's time for Ask Yee with B-Dot.
Yes, ma'am.
My name is
This
B-Dot.
person called in specifically because you're here today. We have
really?
King on the line. Hey, King.
Hey, Angela, what's up?
What's up, King? It's me and B-Dot, and you know he comes from this music world as well. So what's your question for Ask Yee?
I'm just coming home from prison, you know what I'm saying? As a song producer, underground, like, not bubbled like everybody else, what route would I take?
So you're a producer, so, like, where are you making your beats? What are you using? What networks do you have?
I was on United Masters.
Okay.
Okay.
I got signed to the NBA for a beat, one beat forever, perpetuity. So once I took that and I got onto that, I got locked up right after that, so I never really relished in that. Light. I got locked up. I'm just coming home. I don't know. I don't know what route to take. I'm just reaching out to the avenues that I was in before.
Right.
But I don't know.
What'd you go to jail for?
A gun.
Well, I think the first thing you need to do is get the right equipment.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And just start creating, man.
There's a lot of studios, like, look, Engine Room, the studio where I do my podcast out of, they do have a lot of programs for producers and things like that. People are always needing beats, and artists are always trying to also link up with people who aren't necessarily well-known producers yet, because, that way they're not paying a ton of money or having to do like crazy splits for songs. So I think that if you can get with some of these like studio managers, even like managers who are always looking to set up meetings for people to get beats, things like that. Presentation is a big deal.
Where are you located?
Right now in Manhattan.
I think it's also important to go to like showcases and shows like at SOBs or other venues, because artists I think are more receptive to taking a beat CD than an actual rap CD.
And they do have different like sites like YouTube and what's the other one? BeatStars. Yeah, make sure you have your product out there. Also make sure your stuff is protected so nobody steals your beats.
No, I am though. I'm covered by that.
And B-Dot's right. You got to be out there and meet people. It could be that one person you meet that just changes your life. We were just talking about SZA and how she got discovered, and she was with her friend, and her friend was listening to her beats and played it for Punch, the music for Punch, and that's how she ended up getting discovered. You got to be in these rooms to make it happen. You can't just be at home. You have to always be working, always making content. If it means that, and listen, we talked earlier about humbling yourself to get in the right position. Sometimes it might mean I'll go work at the studio and get an hourly, wage just to be in the right places and to have access to using the studio.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I'm not scared of actually doing the hours or putting the work in.
Okay, well, good. Well, keep that mentality. Get out there, make those connections, see what studios might have some openings, see if there's ways you could set up meetings with people. You just got to be places where those people are who you need to connect with.
All right, thank you so much. I appreciate y'all.
All right, thank you.
Good
and
luck.
Look, sometimes people don't even know you do beats. Think about how like 42 Doug, you'll be around people and doing other stuff and making yourself useful, and then it's like, oh, I do happen to do beats, and they're like, what?
Yep.
Once people just like having you around.
If there's a rapper that I want to get a beat to, I'm stalking him, and I'm getting it to him.
We know, B-Dot. We've seen your work. No, B-Dot will introduce you to Jay-Z.
Oh, my gosh.
All right. Well, that was Ask Yee. 800-292-5150. Call us up. You can still leave a message. We'll answer your question that way. And when we come back, we have Debbi Morgan joining us. She is definitely a legend, and you can watch her in Beauty in Black. That's the new #1 series on Netflix by Tyler Perry. But we're going to be talking to her. It's Way Up.
Look.
Yeah, what's happening?
You wanna know my name? Way Up with Angela Yee.
Turn me on.
What's up is Way Up with Angela Yee, and we have a true legend here with us. Debbi Morgan is here. Welcome to Way Up.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
So I appreciate you for coming here because you do have the #1 show on Netflix right now, Beauty in Black. And I am on the edge of my seat for part 2 to come out next year.
It is such a bingeable show.
You know what I think is fascinating for you? Your memoir, Monkey on My Back. And I know you turned that into a one-woman show as well.
Yeah, I did it around the country.
You know, for you to be so transparent about your life and being able to help other people, because a lot of times we look at relationships and we're like, why is this person staying with that person? If that was me, I would have did X, Y, and Z. And we don't know what people go through. And the fact that you were able to help, I'm sure a lot of women were able to relate.
Yeah, I had a lot of women come up to me after. I've had women come up to me with like tears in their eyes saying, oh my God, it was like you were talking directly to me. And I remember, I'll never forget, this one woman came up to me. She had 2 daughters. They're 9 years old, and almost all of their lives they've been watching their fathers beat me. And she said, after listening to you tonight, I don't care what it takes. I'm not keeping them in that house one more day. And when I got chills remembering that.
I mean, that's like saving a life. And also kids, like we say, they do watch what's happening, and you saw and witnessed a lot. Your mom did too. Yeah. So to be able to just in a way explain to people and have them read that and see what you went through, because sometimes people don't look at like Debbi Morgan as a human being, as somebody who's gone through things. They'll just be like, she must have this perfect life. You know, everything's been amazing. You've been in this business for so long, successfully. You've laid down the groundwork for so many people to come after you, but they don't understand maybe where that drive comes from too.
Yeah, it's been a journey. And I think when I was really, really young, and I didn't know it was about being an actress, I was too young, but I always went to Catholic school. And when I was about maybe 9 or 10 years old, I would come home from school and I would put these towels around my head and rosary beads on, you know, trying to act like I was one of the nuns. But that was my beginning of wanting to like act out this character that I saw. And it was also my way of kind of like putting things away, you know, and not going into such a deep depression, you know, from what I was going through. And because I started acting really young and doing a lot of plays, and it was like my outlet. I also remember too, when I was really young, I used to always pray, God, please just let my father die. Just let him die. And when he died at 32 years old, that had such a weight on me for years, because I didn't understand that was his time. Right. I was like, oh my God has answered my prayers, and am I responsible for that? And to this day, I always feel, I wonder what it would be like if my father was still alive, and I could sit and have the conversation with him and find out the why. What were your demons, like Daddy? You know, that made you, you know, become this kind of monster almost. Yeah.
I do want to say that I appreciate it for anybody who hasn't had a chance to read that memoir. Definitely they should. And I know it must have meant a lot to you for you to even turn it into a one-woman show and, you know, go around and do that, because that's such a departure from what you have been doing up until that point.
Yeah, I know. And like you said, I've had so many people come up to me and say, when I look at you and have seen, you know, the projects that you have done, I would never have thought that those would have been your experiences in life.
All right, Debbi Morgan is here. She is starring in Beauty in Black. That's a Tyler Perry series on Netflix, the #1 series. And when we come back, we'll talk about what it was like working with Tyler Perry that was so different for her. It's Way Up.
And I'm back. We about to do this. One of the most famous women in radio. We're talking about Angela Yee. You're Way Up with Angela Yee. Please believe that.
What's up is Way Up with Angela Yee, and Debbi Morgan is here. She is truly an icon, and she's also starring in Beauty in Black on Netflix, a Tyler Perry series. So, Debbi, what was your experience like working with Tyler Perry?
Tyler had such a way of unifying the cast in such a special way, which I felt had a real bearing on the chemistry and authenticity as our characters engaged with each other. But when he invited us to his home for like a meet and greet, when we got to his home toward the end of the evening, he said, I'm going to take you guys upstairs to the top floor. I want to show you something. So there's this wide, long, winding staircase going around and up and around. Looked like it was going up to the heavens. And by the time I think I'm in pretty good shape. But by the time I got to the second landing, I said, Tyler, where is the elevator? So we get up to the top floor. We're walking down this long, massive hallway. And we get to these double doors. And Tyler opens the doors. And there is this chapel with about 10 pews, this beautiful altar with flowers all around the room. We sat, and it was like this hushed silence. It just felt like so sacred. And then Tyler began to say this beautiful, loving prayer for, not just for the success of the show, but for the success and happiness of each one of us that were coming together for this journey. It's like nothing I've ever experienced before. But sitting in that chapel that evening, it was like not a dry eye in the chapel. And it created this almost instant family dynamic for us.
Oh, that's amazing. And imagine having a chapel in your house too, by the way.
I've never seen anything like that before. And it was just, that was such a special evening that first night we all met.
Right now, I'm talking to Debbi Morgan. You know her initially as Angie on All My Children, but now she is starring in Beauty in Black. I've only heard positive things about people who've worked with Tyler Perry as far as how much they've gotten paid, how he treats not just his cast, but also people who work on the set, and how nobody is disrespectful to anybody, just kind of setting the tone right.
Let me tell you something. I said, nobody better ever talk about Tyler to me. Because when my manager called me and he said, Debbi, he said, Tyler's just offered you this part. And he said, there's no negotiating. I said, there's no negotiating? What do you mean? He said, well, this is the offer. I said, what? I said, can you say that again? So I said, of course there would be no negotiating. And so we do the movie. And after the movie, he calls me and he said, Debbi, he said, I asked my people to pay you X amount of dollars. Did they do that? And I said, yes, Tyler. And I am so grateful. And he said, you were so wonderful in this movie. I'm going to offer you this on top of it. I swear to God, I almost fainted.
No one does that. I'm going to give you a little more.
Look, I've been doing this for almost 4 decades and I have never had anybody. Wild. It was incredible. I said, I want to work for Tyler for the rest of my career.
And that's how you deserve to be treated, honestly. And I know for him, just even having you in his movies, just as it's a gift for you to work with him, it is a gift for him to work with you also. You know, just the respect that you get, it's an honor for you to be here.
Thank you. It's been an honor to be here.
Well, listen, when is part 2 coming out?
I know it's not coming out until next spring. I don't think Netflix has given a date.
We don't have time to wait for that.
I know. That's what everybody is saying. But that's good because, people will be waiting to see what's going to happen.
I cannot wait to see you go in there and get it.
Thank you.
Well, thank you again so much to Debbi Morgan. You can watch that full interview in its entirety on my YouTube channel, Way Up With Yee. And when we come back, you guys have the last word.
Pick up the phone. Tap in. Tap in and get your voice heard. What the word is. Here's the last word on Way Up with Angela Yee.
What's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee. And Bida, thank you so much for joining us.
Damn, I just got here.
You just got here.
Feels like it.
Aw, you got your 2 chains on. You know what I'm saying? You gave some great advice on Ask Yee.
I do my best.
King, make sure you hit up Bida. All right, he makes beats. You never know. You never know what could potentially happen. And then, of course, I was excited today because Debbi Morgan was in the building. You can watch Beauty in Black, the #1 series on Netflix right now. But she herself is just amazing. And I was talking a lot about her book. She put out a book 10 years ago, Monkey on My Back, and talking about her really, just a cycle of abuse generationally in her family. And when I tell you you're going to read it, it's like the things that she had to witness, her mom had to witness, horrific. What her grandmother went through. But it's definitely helped out a lot of women. But again, Beauty in Black is out right now. And of course, this is your show, so you have the last word.
Hey, I had to drive Lyft, Uber, gift card, non-emergency medical transportation after leaving a 9-to-5 job. But it gave me some peace of mind, so I'm able to finish up my book. So, it worked out. It was scary, but, just leaving a good paying 9-to-5 job here in Virginia Beach just to write my book, man. It's called Once Upon a Time in the Projects, about mental health.
Hey, Angela Yee. I want to shine a light on my son. Today is his birthday, his 25th birthday. His name is Sabian Gomez. from the south side of Chicago. And also, I want to congratulate my baby girl, Shifra Keys, on her new baby girl, Ashley Ann. Love you.
It's showtime. Yeah, I'm about to tear it up. You tapped in and way up with Angela Yee.
I want it now,